Hi
Hi,
there. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Dr. Shai,
I'm Dr. Sunny.
and we're Satya Health. This discovery video is really designed to give you an understanding of our complete process. Our goal is to teach and empower you to fully heal from within. Remember, the body has an innate wisdom to heal itself when it comes into alignment. And our goal is to help you create an alignment within the physical, chemical, and energetic layers of the body. This is truly a practice of what's known as energetics. In other words, when you understand how the energetic body and our genes can come into alignment, this really creates spontaneous healing. Oftentimes we're asked, can you help with this issue or this illness? And remember, when we look at genetics and energetic medicine, we're looking so much more upstream that we're really able to target what's going on at the root cause before symptoms really manifest. So whether you're having gut issues, thyroid issues, hormone issues, mood issues, mental health issues, brain issues, cognitive issues, pathogen overload, toxin overload, we can really start looking at where to support you that's individual to you to then prevent these downstream symptoms from really occurring.
So we're going to show you how this works. And where we start is a genetics test. And the reason genetics test is so valuable is because it shows us some of the most important biochemical pathways in the body. In particular, one principle that's very important here is that all biochemical disruptions are rooted in inflammation. This is why this test, the first two rows of this pyramid are all the different inflammatory genes of the body. What we know is that no two people produce inflammation in the same way. So when we see your inflammatory genes and see where the weaknesses are, we can start to support that with very targeted nutrients and lifestyle practices to turn inflammation off. So organ systems that respond to inflammation are things like the gut. And this test is really good for understanding the gut at a deep level, because what we see is maybe foods that we're sensitive to, or things like histamine that can be really causing a lot of problems with the gut, something called leaky gut, if you may have heard of that. Do we really need probiotics, or is it too much for us? And for a lot of people, it is too much. Am I sensitive to mold? Am I sensitive to caffeine? There's a whole bunch of information that can be parsed out here that will give you a nice blueprint on how to manage inflammation, especially in relation to the gut. A lot of times people also don't realize that things like sleep issues and anxiety issues are symptoms of inflammation. And we often see that with this gene called glutamate. Glutamate is the excitatory neurotransmitter of the brain. And when glutamate is too high, it's very difficult to sleep and it's very easy to be anxious. So when we've controlled glutamate for people, we've seen people with lifelong sleep issues really, improve quickly, or anxiety issues. And, this relates to a lot about the neurotransmitters of the brain. One of the best things that you learn from this test is how to balance your neurotransmitters, things like serotonin and dopamine. And when we see this at the genetic level, we can actually start to target very specific nutrients to help balance the neurotransmitters out. And Shai has her own experience with using something like this.
Yeah, I was definitely having trouble focusing, even though I meditate and I do all these energetic works, I still get a little anxious at times. And it was because I needed certain vitamins to really support my neurotransmitter production recycling. And honestly, it's been like a game changer for me. I use it on days when I need it, and it really, really helps.
This is the gene, by the way, COMT-V158M. If anyone's ever interested, that's a very, very important gene to start to regulate in order to balance your neurotransmitters. The other thing that you can start to learn is that what are my vitamin D requirements? Vitamin D is exquisitely important for many things, our immune health, our gut health, our hormones. And when we know what our requirements are, we're actually able to start to supplement in a very specific way, or maybe, just maybe, get outside enough. Mm-hmm. And, beyond vitamin D.
Well, just to add, sometimes we've noticed that people need super high doses.
And sometimes people need about 10,000 units a day, depending on their genetics. So it's a very important thing to know for many reasons. The other thing that can be discovered is how you should be exercising. Now, someone like myself should actually not be doing too much cardio because I produce a lot of lactic acid in my body. And, other people can do cardio and they'll just be fine. But for me, resistance training is far superior to using cardio as a primary tool for exercise. So, it's really incredible getting these insights, because I can be guilty for sure. I was doing way too much cardio and I was just burning out my adrenal glands because of it.
Yeah, and then the other thing we can also talk, the EMF sensitivity.
Yeah, speaking of burning out, so EMF does definitely cause inflammation in our bodies. Some people are sensitive, like me. Other people are not so sensitive, and that's very helpful. And that's probably why there is so much controversy, because it doesn't affect everyone equally. But This is definitely something to understand about yourself, and then take the appropriate precautions in order to protect yourself from another inflammatory insult. The other really powerful part of this test is knowing that which antioxidants do you need. Remember, antioxidants turn off inflammation. So there's a master antioxidant in the body. It's called glutathione. Some people make it really well and they don't really need aggressive supplementation with this, or some people don't do very well and they need that in order to turn their inflammation off. So for people with autoimmune conditions, even things like heart disease, cancers, hormonal issues, even that are rooted in inflammation, knowing which antioxidants you need in which doses in particular can be a really powerful tool to start to control the symptoms in your body and start to control illness. And what we'd like to say is that we don't subscribe to a diagnosis. We don't believe a diagnosis is a destiny by any means, but people come to us with diagnoses, and we like to take away that story label and give them tools so that they can just start to work on the very fundamental biochemical processes of controlling inflammation, which helps a lot of these labels go away. The other thing that really helps is when you start moving up this pyramid and you're able to understand how your body detoxes. Just like inflammation, everybody detoxes in their own way. So when we start to see where your individual susceptibilities are, maybe with your liver or your kidneys, on how your body needs to detox, we can start to target nutrients and lifestyle practices to help you detox better. And we see a lot of people who detox too soon and they get sicker because inflammation has to be controlled before detox. And if there's anything that you get from this video, we want you to learn this sequence of inflammation control first, then detoxing your body. One of the most potent ways of detoxing our body is this thing called autophagy. Now, autophagy won the Nobel Prize in 2016 because it was discovered that our body cleans itself. And when you support autophagy, especially for people like myself who don't do very well with autophagy on their own, you start to realize that the body has a self-cleaning mechanism, and when it's enhanced, the stubborn weight starts to go away and hormonal issues really start to get better. The detox process is often where hormones are fixed the best, and knowing how to target this process can be really, really effective. And the next thing you get to move up to is the top of this pyramid here, which is all about energy. Energy is about meeting the demands of our life. And when we talk about energy, what we talk about is our mineral requirements. We all have very different mineral requirements. And in particular with the thyroid, we really want to know what your iodine requirements are, what your zinc requirements are, and selenium. And when we know these things, we start to give the appropriate genetic doses so that your body is supplemented in a way that it can support the biochemistry most effectively. The very top of this pyramid is all about methylation. Methylation has a lot of functions in the body, but what it really relates to is energy in its essence. And folate tends to be a really important ingredient. It's one of the master hinge points for methylation. And when you put the appropriate doses of folate in your body, energy levels can go up. And for women who are looking to conceive or in that process of being pregnant, knowing what your folate requirements are is extremely important to get you better.
I think even for children going through puberty.
And children going through puberty, a lot of people don't know that your methylation requirements go up about 5-fold when you're going through puberty. So getting these tests for kids at their appropriate milestones can be very, very helpful in knowing how to support their growth process. Now, what we see with this test is that there are genes for susceptibilities, and we start to guard against those using targeted nutrients and lifestyle practices. But we always also have genes for wellness. And when it comes to the genes for wellness, we've found that the research is really pointing to how our genome is being activated at a level of light first. And this is really where the work of the Biofield comes in, because what's been discovered is that everything that happens in our biology first happens in the electromagnetic field around our body, or our light body. And now, because we are able to visualize this light body, we're actually able to target very specific energetic practices towards where energy needs to flow better. And that helps us signal our biology in a different way. Actually, what it does is it activates our genome and activates those genes for wellness. So this is Shai's Biofield, and I'll let her take us through what this really means.
Yeah, so pretty much what you see here is what's in potential of developing into physical issues. And what we want to see is very thin pink lines, because that means that energy is constantly flowing. And when you see thick pink pooling, such as here, and actually in my sinuses, I was dealing with mold issues as well. This is where a lot of energy is stagnant. And this is ultimately, if this is not moved, this is what leads to physical issues. So when we start working at the energetic level, we can profoundly shift our physical being. For me, you know, with having energy stuck in my throat center, what sits in our throat center is our thyroid. And I was already starting to experience symptoms of thyroid imbalance. I was having hair thinning, irregular menstrual cycles, fatigue, dry skin. However, my thyroid labs have always been normal. And I think a lot of people can relate where they go to the doctor and their labs are completely normal, but they don't feel well. Well, here's the ticket. You know, we can start looking at where do we need to move energy so you can really start targeting things to really prevent downstream issues of the physical issues. And I started doing my own energetic work. And this picture was taken actually a few weeks later, about a month. And you can see here how much more my throat really opened up. And I kid you not, it was the first time in my life where I've had a regular menstrual cycle. Like I used to have so much pain with every cycle. And this time when it came around, I didn't even notice it came around. So it was very, very shocking.
We'll just add that we also did the genetics around the same time,
Yes.
and we added appropriate doses of methylfolate, which really changed things.
That really changed things.
The combination of the energy and the genetics was really remarkable.
Yeah, for sure. And so, you know, a lot of things like my hair started thickening up, and I was really able to just start working at this level to help support my body. And this is all virtual, by the way. The technology that we use, you're able to upload your pictures. We give you very clear instructions on how to take these pictures through a secure EMR where you upload your pictures, and we're able to download it into our Biofield software. And depending on where you are and how advanced you are with your energetic work, we may make different recommendations. So it could be things like targeted acupuncture points, because acupuncture helps release energetic stagnancy. It could be something like essential oils. Every essential oil blend targets specific organ systems, so you can use very specific essential oils for that. It could be things like breath work, specific yoga poses. It can be sound tuning. It can be you know,
even physical exercise.
It can be craniosacral therapy. There's so many different modalities that we can now start using to really help move this energy.
Yeah. So, you know, the bottom line comes to the blueprint. We all want to know our blueprint. And the reason is once we know it, we can self-regulate. And when you can self-regulate, you can celebrate. And that's what we're about. We're about teaching people how to celebrate life. That's why we're here. And that's what's most important. It's very easy to get stuck in the dogma of wellness and having to do things and being forced to live a certain lifestyle or a certain practice. The bottom line is this: none of that's sustainable. The only thing that's really sustainable is understanding that you can self-regulate and you can celebrate because you know how to do it. And that's really what we try to teach people.
I think that's actually how we ended up with the practice that we have, because we've gone through everything that you might have already gone through. And we realized that it just wasn't sustainable to keep getting labs, keep ordering supplements, keep doing the same thing. Not only is it consuming in your energy and your time, but also money. And we just found when you target specific things and understand, like, this is what I need to take when I feel inflamed. This is what I need to do when I really need to detox. This is how I work on my energetic body. It just gives you that liberation to like live more freely and just like Sunny said, be able to celebrate life, because that's really why we're here.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is just take you through our plan and kind of give you an understanding of how we approach things. So as you probably already know, we are 100% virtual. So you can do this all from home. And the way this works is you first put the order in for the genetic testing kit. The genetic testing kit will come to your home, you spit in a tube, you ship it back out. Usually after you ship it back out, it takes 4 to 6 weeks to process, at least in the USA. And we do have, we're able to actually ship it outside of USA as well. The cost of a genetic testing kit is $300 USD for those in the USA, and it's different due to shipping fees for outside of USA.
It's about $50 extra if you're outside the USA, just as a ballpark.
Yeah. And yeah, you can actually just go on our website and put the order in right there, and we start processing your genetics. And the way that our plan works is, honestly, we have just, you pay as you go. We don't kind of hold you or tie you down to anything. So each visit is $449 USD. And this also includes the cost of the biofield. So in every visit, we always like to incorporate the biofield. And so what we usually do is we give you the option. You can see us before the genetic report comes back. If you're having acute issues, you're on medication, you just need ongoing support, quickly. Or if you're already kind of in the functional medicine realm, you can wait till the genetics comes back, and we will contact you to schedule your first visit with us. And both of us are present in each visit. We actually have a texting system where you can message us in between the visits. So, it's not like you have to hold up all your questions until the next visit. We will guide you through everything, answer your questions. If you're having issues, if you want us to look something up, we're there in your corner. And during the visits, we also give a very detailed protocol. So, you can kind of relax and just listen. You don't really need to take notes. And every visit, yes, like I said, we do the biofield, and then we kind of go through the genetic pyramid depending on what your symptoms are. If you're someone who is super inflamed, we're not going to jump up to detox and energy just yet. We need to build you up and make sure you're good. Usually the amount of visits depends on how many issues you're having. If you're someone who just wants health optimization, you just want to know like what foods I need to eat, what vitamins I need to take, what nutrients and supplements I need, then usually 2 visits is good enough. And for someone else, it could range from 3 to 6 visits. Usually we try to tie things up usually in 5 to 6 visits, because we really want to teach you your blueprint so then you can kind of go there and take charge of your own life. And then, like I already mentioned, the biofilm analysis, you take the pictures at home, you upload your images, and then we kind of take a look at it through that.
Yeah, I think the important point here that makes us a little bit different is that we are very involved in the journey, and we do not like to wait for questions to be answered for the appointments, because it's not a good use of time for you or for us. And we believe that we can teach you this blueprint for yourself. If your questions are satisfactorily answered, and during the visits, we are adding on to that model for you, that knowledge base, so that you are completely understanding this and able to implement it in your life. So we are very, very involved, and we like to think of our relationships as more than just client relationships. We are building towards a greater healing practice for all of us, for this entire world. And so, we really want to ensure that we're aligning with you on those levels.
Yeah. And, you guys might have a few questions. We're actually going to just answer a few that we think some people might have. And for any other questions you might have, you can just email us hello@satyahealth.com, and we would be glad to support you. For anyone outside of the USA, the prices do change a little bit, but it's actually a little bit more friendly for Canadians, for Australians. And for the order of the genetic testing kit, you have to email us. It's not on the website.
Right.
So the first question is if the genetics report is secure, if it's being sold to third parties.
It's very secure. The company that we used there's a specific reason that we use them. They're not commercial. They have no commercial interest. They do not advertise. And they use a security software system that is also used by the United States military. So it is an extremely secure portal. And the benefit of this is that it's all physician run. The information is all functional in its nature. It's nothing to teach you about anything you can't do anything about. And also, you can, if you do not feel completely comfortable using your real identity, use an alias. And we have a lot of people that have done that, and you get the same information and you don't have to give any of your data up.
Yep. And the company, by the way, does not sell private data anyways.
Not at all.
Yeah. What if you already have a genetic test? What if you've done something especially like 23andMe, DNA Ancestry? These are 2 companies that we know we're able to use the raw data. If you've used other genetic testing companies, just see if you have the actual raw genetic data, and then we're able to upload it into our software and see if it works. The cost of this would be $100, and the benefit would be that you don't have to pay for another genetic testing kit, and you can see us sooner because you already have the information. Just know that because the other companies aren't focusing on functional genomics, the result is not 100% match on the pyramid. However, it's enough where we can start working through it.
Absolutely.
Can we test children? Yes. Anyone above 2 years old, we're able to do the genetic testing kit for. And this is such an incredible opportunity to really understand what your child needs, in the future moving forward, especially, with
those growth milestones,
being bombarded with environmental toxins, chronic stress, those are actually what, express genes for illness. So we can really teach you how to guard your child's genes.
Also, our consultation costs are less for children. We're going to be changing them to $350. So it's considerably less because we do believe that parents who are investing in their children's health are doing a remarkable thing for really all of us to raise healthy kids in this world. And we want to help facilitate that in any way possible.
Yeah, and we love doing Biofield on kids. It's super cute. They love it. They actually understand the energy world more than adults do. And the genetic testing kit does not cost, the cost does not change for children. If your child is unable to like give a saliva sample, like spit in a tube, it would be $50 additional just to get a cheek swab. The results are the same for either one. It just depends on, you know, if your child is able to provide a saliva sample or not. Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, please reach out. Can you think of anything else?
I think that's it. It's all about alignment. Feel
Yes.
it out. And we're two people that would love to be in your corner and support you on all those levels, physical, chemical, and energetic. And we really do believe that when you get this blueprint, you get the alignment. Your body has an incredible capacity to heal, more than we give it credit for. So think about that from that very, very deep level of your emotional level, and start to think about working with us if you want to learn this blueprint.
Yes. And the only thing I did want to add is that for those who are maybe not ready to make that jump with the genetics and the follow-up visits, we do have a Biofield only visit that you're able to book, and those are much cheaper. You can check on our website. If you're on Instagram, you can check on our link in bio. And, you know, that's a great way to start too. And we're able to support your physical body through the Biofield at some extent as well. So that's something to take into consideration as well.
Yeah, and we're also doing some emotional release work that can be done virtually also. It can be very, very powerful to start to work at the Biofield level and start to release emotions that can really trap biology in a certain pattern. And when you do that, you liberate your biology. So it's another sort of service that we think can be helpful for people who are maybe more inclined for the energy work.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today. And honestly, if you have any questions at all, if something comes up, please send us an email, hello@satya.health. We would be so honored to be part of your healing journey. It's super important for all of us to come together because honestly, that's how we heal together. So thank you for thinking of us and watching this. And we wish you the best of luck in your future.
See ya.
Take care.